Good luck on everything and keep it up. Bye. They contact myself and a few other of my friends that they race as well in the Cup Series, and we had some como pretty much like casting, like we tried out and we did some speech with them and ended up working out well, and I had my own car of Daniel Suarez, and it was a very cool experience, being part of a small part of Pixar's movie Cars 3. It was obviously a lot of fun. I hired my own car and obviously my first time actually in the big screen, so it was fun to have that experience.
¿Por qué NASCAR? Primero, y lo más importante, Daniel es mexicano. Daniel es tan migrante como muchos de nosotros y Daniel es un talento mexicano que está triunfando en Estados Unidos. Daniel es el ejemplo de una persona que viene con un sueño a Estados Unidos, que se prepara para tenerlo y que lo está logrando. Es un modelo para muchos de nuestros niños.
I try to spend a lot of time watching movies with subtitles. I start to find out that cartoons, actually they are made obviously for kids, and they talk a little slow. So I started watching some cartoons as well. So it was a process of maybe a couple of years that I had to teach myself English to be able to communicate. I was scared at some point that I wasn't going to be able to make my career just because of language, and I wasn't going to be able to. I wasn't going to let that happen. I didn't want to say, you know what, I didn't make my career happen because I didn't know English. That wasn't going to happen. Cartoons were easy to understand because obviously they are made for kids. So they were talking slower. When I was watching movies, sometimes I had a lot of difficult times to try to understand them. So I had to watch them over and over and over. Finally, by the 10th time, I was able to understand what they were saying. But yeah, that was pretty much the way I learned it, and it was tough. I can tell you that it wasn't a lot of fun. I wish I had that time to learn how to drive instead of to learn the English. But that's the way that it worked out for me, and now really I'm happy that wasn't something that stuck my career. It's very cool to try to be a role model. I really do my best to do well in the sport of NASCAR and to try to share my experience in the past and try to give them more string and hope to keep going and to keep going at it, and that's something I think is very important. I had a lot of people that helped me when I was trying to go through my career, and obviously I'm sure that it will help them a little bit to have a person like me that somehow has made it to the top series in NASCAR, and they can give. I can give them an advice or a little bit of my story to help them keep going in whatever dream they have. My family doesn't come from racing. They don't come from money either. I mean, I came from a very, very regular family. I mean, the school I went when I was younger, I didn't know English. I mean, it was a very regular school, a government school, and I was just having a life like 90% of the kids in Mexico. My mom wasn't happy about it. She was trying very hard to try to get me out the first few years, because obviously, if you tell any family out there that is not involved in racing, hey, your son is going to be racing whatever it is, the first person who's going to say no is the mother, because the first thing they're going to think is dangerous. So my mother was just like that. She said, no way, she's not racing, and he's not racing, and if he does it, it's going to be just for fun. But as we start going a little bit more and a little bit more, she said, no, just a little bit, and somehow we finally made her give up.
I can tell you how many people has reached me from Mexico, either emails or social media or even in person, that they told me, Daniel, I didn't know anything about NASCAR until I find out either for an interview on radio station or TV or in many different resources that there was a Mexican driver out there. Now my family and everyone, we are NASCAR fans because of you. So that just put me, that just gives me a smile in my face every time that happens, and it happens very often, more and more and more.
It's important for us to have a Hispanic driver that Hispanic fans can identify with. You know, 40% of the Dallas-Fort Worth population are Latinos, and so from our perspective, it really matters a lot that we've got somebody that they can identify with, pull for, and have reason to come to Texas Motor Speedway and attend the races, because we want everybody to come. It's important for the sport that Daniel do well. You know, unless you do well, people don't follow you. And Daniel being you know, unique in that he's an Hispanic driver in a field of drivers that otherwise don't, there is Eric Amarola, who's Hispanic, but that gives fans, Hispanic fans, somebody to follow, somebody to come out to the races and see. But you know, it's important that he also perform well. You don't want to just run around the back of the pack. He needs to be challenging for wins, challenging for championships, because we all identify with a winner, and Hispanic fans as well. And so the better he does, the better it's going to be for our sport to draw Hispanic fans' eyes and ears and rear ends to the speedway to sit there and watch them live. So we really got our fingers crossed and think Daniel's a great talent, has every reason in the world to succeed.